Hey there, I just wanted to show you really quickly how to use our Easy Accent Decorator. So what I've got here is our decorator. It does come with 6 different tips as well as 2 knobs. I'm going to show you how these guys work, and a cover. This does disassemble. It just works like a screw. It just twists right in. And then what is actually going to happen is when we have this whole thing together, you're going to push this little trigger down. That's going to be what pushes our icing or sour cream or, the mixture for deviled eggs, whatever you're using for that. So I wanted to show you quickly each of these and what they do. And I bought some store-bought cupcakes to save time on baking and took off the frosting so I could show you what we're doing. So I'm just going to take our frosting here and I'm going to load it in the barrel of the Easy Accent Decorator. And then I'm going to kind of talk to what each of these does, and then I'll show you what their shapes look like on this white cutting board so you guys can see kind of what we're working with. All right, so we'll start with this. You want to leave a little bit of air anyways when you're working with your icing, because then it's going to help with your bubbles. So you're going to pick whichever tip you want. I'm going to start with the filling one because we're going to take and stuff some of these. You can also do this for cannolis as long as your batter is thinner and not as sticky. So if you're doing little mini, and this little gun, see, it just triggers down. Ooh, I have a little bit too much air in there. Oh, there it comes. All right, so you're gonna pierce your cupcake and just kind of push this down, and it's gonna stuff the inside of this cupcake with our filling. So that's what we're doing here. That's what this little tool does, is it just fills your cupcakes. So you could fill them with pudding, you could fill them with anything you could think of. Icing works. This one here is for writing. I don't typically write on any of my cakes with it, but it is there so that you have the option if you wanted to do any kind of script. And then we'll just push this down and we'll go see if we can get it to work for us. So if you wanted to write, you definitely could. That there is a drawing tool in here. It's holding all my extra icing, so I'll be eating this later. We have other tips here. This one is our star tip. It's probably the most popular. This is the one I use for icing cupcakes. I'll use this for stuffing deviled eggs, and I'm going to kind of demonstrate. So when I do this one, I hold it straight up and down, and I just press, and it kind of does this little star. So you press and pull up, and then we'll get this whole guy frosted. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. It's also really good if you're doing like fancy twice baked potatoes and you fill out and you hole out the potato the first time you have your mashed potatoes, that you could fill it with this, and then you'll get that pretty little design going on. You could also do this sideways. So if you wanted to work on like a scalloped edge, you could kind of crunch it as you push, and then you're going to end up with a little kind of squiggly scallop there. I'm going to load up some more frosting really quickly, and then I'm going to show you the other 3 tips and how those guys work, and then we'll get some more frosting going on. And again, you can always do this as store-bought. You can do your homemade. You can use this for your sour cream if you want to get really fancy for Taco Tuesday, and then also use anything else you want. But if you're doing deviled eggs, the bigger star tip is the best one to use because of the filling. This one is actually designed. Whoop, I got my tip a little crooked. Let me turn it. It's designed to do that little beveled edge we were just talking about. So when you do this, it's going to already scallop because it's going to be flat on one side. So that is designed to be that way because of how the tip is, because it is already arched and crooked. All right, the other 2 are just different variations of the thicker star tip, so it's going to be a little bit smaller than the one we've already used. And again, straight up and down here, but then you see how you can get a little wider star. You can also do this little technique where you just build. You can make little Christmas trees out of doing it that way. If you're wanting to top anything later, just different little ideas there. That's one that they show. Pampered Chef usually shows around Christmas time if you're decorating a brownie. You can do the green frosting and kind of pile it up, throw some sprinkles on there. And the last tip here, it's just a closed star, so it's going to be a little smaller. So that's how this one is designed to look. And you just press, and again, you could do it where you just do a big swivel all the way around. Sorry, I got air in my gun, so it's making extra noises. You could just go all the way around your cupcake, fill it up. So that's kind of the Easy Accent Decorator. I've made a mess with all the frosting because I'm just playing here, but I wanted to show you each of the tips and see if this would work for your kitchen. So let me know if you have any questions about this guy. The whole thing is dishwasher safe. Throw it on the top rack. You are good to go. And that's that. Thanks, guys.